Hi, it's TruthSikher here, and I'm trying out another new series here where I respond to videos that people send me. So this video was sent to me by the Messiah. He said, I see you're a TruthSikher, I see you're a seeker of truth, which I am. I am the antichrist. So I thought this was quite interesting, and we'll just see what he has to say here. I think some of these arguments, no, I don't know, they didn't really convince me, but I think they're worth considering. I'll just put it like that. So we'll just see what he has to say. Maybe you will be convinced by these arguments that he lays out here. Okay.
Hello there. My name is Chris. I'm going to show you something encoded into the design of the English language, which reveals me as the Antichrist. Like, the Canadians actually did this. They actually came up with a morality fucking ritual where they tried to basically
Now look. I will say that I will hear out anybody's arguments, about why they are the Antichrist, or any videos that people send me. But can you please, not go so hard on the profanity? Okay, it's just unnecessary. It really is in this day and age. We don't need to be. You don't need to be swearing all the time to get your point across. If your argument is sound and is logical, is reasonable, then people will pick up on it. You don't need to lay into all the profane language. Children are watching these videos.
sacrifice me
For goodness sake.
and make me the worst person in the universe. Because if you know people are evil, if you know they're evil, and then you forgive them anyway, and give them another opportunity, and like them, and try to be their friend, you're actually being more bad than them, and you become worse than them. So that's basically...
I'm going to be honest, I didn't actually listen to any of that, but I'm sure that it won't matter, okay?
What Canada tried to do to me was to fucking do a satanic ritual against me and try to crucify me and sacrifice me to die for their sins and shit like that, and replace...
See, look, it's fine, it's okay. Look, you can say that Canada, sacrificed you to cleanse themselves of their sins, and that they are the worst people on Earth and in the universe. You can say that. That's fine. It doesn't bother me. But when you say and shit like that, that pisses me off. Don't leap into fucking profane language, you dumb fuck.
Jesus Christ is the worst, because Jesus Christ and his apostles, they came up with the 666 riddle, which was to demonize and sacrifice a person of the future. So there would, and the whole world has been basically fucking demonizing the number 666 for two.
I agree. We talk about racism all the time. Where's the fucking... Where are the people out, for the numbers? Have you noticed that everybody's favourite number is 7? Every fucking body's favourite number is 7. Think about that. Every other number is therefore a minority that's being left out of society. You can say, like in some countries the number 8 is considered lucky or something, so maybe 8 is fine as well, okay? But that still leaves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and it goes on. And I'd do all of them, but we'd be here for an hour, and I don't have time. It's just... People say, it's ridiculous, you can't offend words. People talk about offensive words, Well, maybe the offensive words are offended by the fact that you called them offensive. Have you considered that? Have you considered, the feelings of the words that you describe as offensive?
2,000 years, and that's basically what they did to me. And basically God was giving me fucking idea.
Basically God.
like he communicates with ideas. He doesn't talk in your head with English or anything like that, but
No, he speaks Spanish.
communicates with ideas. So he'd just give you hints and clues to show you things so you could figure out what's going on. And I'm going to show you how several ways my name is encoded as 666 and how the Canadians were trying to sacrifice me and crucify me to make me worse than Jesus and make me the worst person on the earth. Like it's actually a fucking disgusting English ritual. But anyway, here we go. Okay.
So you'll notice that he said worse than Jesus and what the worst person on earth. And you know what the Messiah is actually trying to say, which is kind of interesting. He has a kind of a unique perspective on Christianity, which is such that he believes that Jesus Christ is actually the worst person that ever existed, except for himself.
Okay, you probably never noticed this your entire life, and I didn't notice it until God suggested I look at it. But every letter, if you put in, like, if you imagine a mirror under the alphabet, every letter has a broken or distorted opposite, like with a little piece missing. Like A would be V, B would be P, D would be U, E would be F, G would be C, H would be distorted into an N.
I mean, I have to disagree with this one. I think that the H is more of an I. Like if you turn the H around, it's kind of an I. I'm not really seeing the N, to be honest. You know, this is the thing. Like this, you know, it all sounds very good. It all sounds, you know, very. He sounds very confident. And you know, if you weren't watching this closely, you might be drawn in and think, "Wow, this is really persuasive." But it's just the minute details that he gets wrong here, like the H should really be an I and vice versa. You know?
I would have the missing piece for a J, and then W, Q would be O, R would be K, S would be Z, T would be L, and X would be Y. Like that's actually part of the design of the language, and I'm going to show you this. If you take the name Jesus and you get the opposite letters, like the anti.
And you'll notice he's used the I here, which is very unfortunate, because it means that you know, he's got this very complicated and well thought out answer, but unfortunately one of the components is just not, you know, just is incorrect, unfortunately, and that's a real shame. Because you can tell a lot of thought and dedication went into this. But like I said, you know, he's unfortunately he fell at the first hurdle, and then he kept, you know, running through several thousand more hurdles successfully, but it didn't matter because he tripped up over the first one.
Opposite Christ. So if you take Jesus and you get the opposite, it's IFZDZ, and you convert those to numbers. And then the difference between 9 and 6 is 3. The difference between 26 and 4.
But if you look at the 26, you know, it's kind of a distorted C. So I feel like the and the 6 is kind of a distorted E. And my initials, if you don't know, are CE. You know, I'll just say that. You know, I'm not going to say anymore. But you know.
4 is 22, and then you just have a 26 left over, which is a Z. Now, if you handwrite a Z, you'll notice there's 3 points on it, and they point to 28.7.
Now, again, this is another problem that he has here, and that he assumes that his handwriting is representative of everybody's handwriting, and isn't just something that no human being has ever seen before. And that is the mistake. It is the mistake because most people do not write a Z in this fashion here. And it is a problem because, you know, it may be that he is the Antichrist. It may be that, you know, for another calculation using the proper numbers, the proper letters, that he could arrive at the correct conclusion that he is the Antichrist. But it's just this methodology. It's just flawed, in my opinion. It's just flawed, you know, and it's a shame because, like I say, you know, it sounds compelling on the surface.
287, which is my initials, Chris BB, born July.
It's also the same as you know you're not from the UK, the Messiah, but it's also the same as the CBBS. If I was a bit more confident in the methodology, I would be very scared right now, because I would be phoning up every person who used to work at the CBBS, I would be phoning all of them. I would be calling them all up and asking them if they know Jimmy Savile. Okay.
The seal of the Solomon, which is the real mark of the beast, and it's Chris BB 72876 666. All right, and remember that this.
No, and people will look at this and go, "Oh, this is ridiculous." It's laughable. But these people are asleep, because this is, think about how many possibilities there were, and yet he gets these results. The odds of that are billions to one. Okay, and this argument is interesting because I wasn't able to find any flaws in the method here. So this is perhaps the most compelling of the arguments that he makes in the video.
The Greek Christogram of Jesus Christ is ICXC, which looks like Roman numerals. Where the smaller number preceding the large number, you subtract it. So ICXC would be 9990, like this. And like Jesus had a cross, right? So you get I.
See, he did have a cross. That is true. That is true. And that's what makes this argument very sound, because he's using facts that are grounded in reality. There's no this is not subject to interpretation, like the letter I being a J or whatever it was, that was clearly subjective, but this is just more of an objective truth.
C and 9990. And the hint about this is in Revelations 13:18, you multiply 13 by 18, and that's 234. So if you want to put someone on the cross,
which I haven't done yet, but I might do at some point.
234 would be one of their hands, and then the opposite hand would be 499, 432, 90. Going inward is 333, and 432 minus 90 is 342. And so you can figure out, well, what are these? What creates these numbers, right? It would be 5 times 666, 432 equals CCC instead of E66. You get CCC, which is C's, which is SES. And then the top becomes Mr. J.
No, this bit is quite difficult to follow. You will need to watch this several hundred times over before you get it. But once it clicks, you can't go back. Once you understand the logic here, it is difficult to dispute in any way.
CHRIS. So you get Mr. J. Ses Christ.
And I think he's also a rapper.
Jesus, Mr. J. Ses Christ. Jesus,
I'm pretty sure he is.
Christ. Mr. J. Ses Christ. This is true story, man. Like, this is actually what the Canadian.
Yeah, and this is what we're all about on the TruthSikher channel. So I do appreciate you sending me this, because we are about seeking truth here, and that, as far as I can tell, that is true. Like I said, I had issues with the methods in the early part of the video, but that, is really blown my mind.
Have been doing as like a mathematical artistic mutilation ritual to sacrifice people and try to make them worse, try to make them the worst people in the universe. And what they basically did was they fucked themselves over, and Canada is at the dead bottom of the universe. Jesus Christ is actually the worst person in the entire universe. He's less than everybody. Yeah, and the Canadians are just slightly above.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, he's like, there are people like, Adolf Hitler and Stalin and, Albert Fish, but, Fred and Rose West, and you know, all these people, but I am confident saying that Jesus Christ was definitely worse than that. You know, for a start, he had a, you know, ridiculous haircut.
Love him for continuing his ritual abuse shit and his sacrificial shit.
Sacrificials.
But that's basically what it is. It's like, it's a bunch of artistic mathematical patterns to basically crucify me and try to make me Jesus Christ, try to make me die for their sins and stuff like that. You know, to sacrifice me for their sins and so they can try to go to heaven. Like, Canada actually believes that you can molest and terrorize children, and that doing so will help you get to heaven. Like, that's actually the Canadian mentality. That's actually what they believe.
If you don't agree with that, then just look at the polls, Google it. Nothing he says here is false.
They believe that if they molest God's children, that God will love them and take them to heaven. Like, that's actually what Canada believes. How fucking retarded they are. That's why over 20% of Canada's best and brightest score like 70 on an IQ test.
That's only 5 more than me.
You know, like 20% of the best and brightest, and the best and brightest are like 15% of society. So you're looking at 80% of Canadians are less than 70 IQ. But anyway, that's the ritual shit, and the actual solutions to the 666 riddle, and the actual mark of the beast is the seal of Solomon and stuff like that.
And stuff like that, yeah.
Because it's all about ritual abuse against children because of...
And shit.
So, anyway, I just thought I'd show you, and yeah, so there we go. Abuse against children.
I love that. I love this ending. Like, he's just absolutely shaken your world apart, and he just ends off with just a modest.
So anyway, I just thought I'd show you, and yeah, so there we go.
You know, he's not even. He doesn't even sound proud that he's figured this all out. He's just like, you know, yeah, so, you know, I'm the antichrist. So, you know, there. You know, I've seen people get more enthusiastic about, you know, watching Loki. What a guy! You know, you really have to respect the restraint that he has there, because clearly he was incredibly excited, and he's just trying to, sound, as rational as possible. He just ends off saying, "Oh, but there we go," you know, like, "Oh, well, you know, just a couple facts for you, you know, nothing special, you know, just I'm the Antichrist, and Jesus Christ is the second worst person on earth, you know, in the universe, and Canada, 65 IQ. Just a couple facts for you, and I'm off. Bye." Absolutely something to be admired. It really is.